70 used to sound like the age you slowed down. Now, for millions of Americans, it may be the age they're still clocking in. Not because they love the job, because the mortgage, medical bills, debt, and groceries never retired with them. Most people say they just didn't save enough. That's not the whole story. And by number 1, you'll see what actually broke the math. Here are the 10 reasons, starting at number 10. Number 10. The student loan that follows you into retirement. Quick question. When you picture somebody drowning in student debt, who do you see? A 25-year-old, probably. Maybe your grandkid. Here's who you should see. A 69-year-old retiree opening a letter from the Treasury Department. Americans over 50 now hold $408 billion in student loan debt. That's a quarter of all the student debt in this country. And a big chunk of it isn't even their own education. It's Parent Plus loans, money parents borrowed so their kids could go to college. As of this spring, 3.6 million people are carrying almost $115 billion in these loans. 7 out of 10 of them are over 50. Here's the part that catches people off guard. If you default on a federal student loan, the government has the legal power to take up to 15% of your Social Security check. Your Social Security check, the thing everybody assumes is untouchable. They've used that power before. They paused it after the backlash, and they can flip the switch back on whenever they choose. Right now, more than 1 in 5 loan dollars held by borrowers over 50 is at least 90 days behind. That's a lot of people sitting 1 letter away from a smaller check. So what do you do at 68 when a check that was already tight gets 15% tighter? You do the only thing left. You go back to work to pay for a degree somebody else earned 15 years ago. Number 9. The years caregiving takes and never gives back. Before I show you a single number on this one, I want to describe a person. She's 58, she works in an office, and she's 7 years from the retirement she's been planning since her 40s. Then her mother's memory starts to go. Little things first, then the stove left on, then a fall. There's nobody else, so she drops to part-time. She pays for adult daycare out of her own pocket, bandages, special food, co-pays, gas for the drive across town twice a day. 7 years later, her mother passes. She's 65 now, with 7 years of missing 401k contributions, no employer match, no emergency fund, and a body that's tired. Her retirement didn't get delayed, it got spent. Now the numbers. There are 59 million family caregivers in America. AARP just valued their unpaid work at about $1 trillion a year, the labor of nearly 24 million full-time employees done for free, mostly by people in their 50s and 60s. The typical caregiver spends over $7,000 a year out of pocket. For many, that's a quarter of their income. And underneath it all sits one bad assumption. Most families think Medicare covers long-term care. It doesn't. Medicare covers hospitals and doctor visits. It does not pay for the daily, grinding care that dementia or a stroke demands. Professional help starts around $70,000 a year for assisted living and climbs from there, which is exactly why families end up doing it themselves, for free, with their own retirements as the fuel. If this is you right now, call the Elder Care Locator. It's a free federal service that connects you to your local area agency on aging, and there's usually more help there than people realize. Number 8. Gray divorce cuts the nest egg in half and doubles the bills. The divorce rate for Americans over 65 tripled between 1990 and 2021. Tripled. While divorce among younger people actually went down. And the math of a late divorce is brutal in a way most people never think through. It's not just that the savings get split, it's that everything doubles. 2 rents instead of 1 paid-off house, 2 electric bills, 2 insurance policies. Researchers at Bowling Green State University found that after a gray divorce, a woman's standard of living drops 45%. For men, it's 21%. Both sides lose about half their wealth. And at 62, there's not much time left to build it back. A married couple with a paid-off house and $400,000 saved is in decent shape. Split that down the middle, add 2 rents, and it can turn one workable retirement into 2 fragile ones. Same money, completely different life. Nobody plans for this one. That's what makes it so quiet. Number 7, the layoff after 50. Here's something that gets reported far less than it should. Older workers actually get laid off less often than younger ones. But when it happens, it's a different kind of event. Government data shows workers over 55 face the longest stretches of unemployment of any age group. The Urban Institute found that after an involuntary job loss past 50, household income drops by roughly 40%, and only about 1 in 10 of those workers ever earns what they did before. Ever. Picture what 14 months without a paycheck does to a 60-year-old. The mortgage doesn't pause, so they raid the 401k, pay the taxes and the penalty, and when a job finally comes, it pays 30% less. Retiring at 65 just quietly left the building. Now, the honest other side, because you deserve it. More older Americans are working than at any point in decades. About 19% of everyone over 65, up from 13% in 2000. And plenty of them genuinely want to be there. Work keeps some people sharp and happy. The problem isn't older people working. The problem is older people who have no choice. And hold on to this one, because the layoff comes back at number 2 in a way most people never price in. Number 6, the bank of mom and dad never closed. 3 out of 4. That's how many parents are financially supporting at least one adult child right now, according to a new AARP survey. The average parent sends about $7,000 a year down the family tree. And before anybody starts muttering about kids these days, that money isn't going to vacations. It's going to rent, groceries, medical bills, the basics. But here's what $7,000 a year actually costs. Put that same money into a retirement account for your last 10 working years at ordinary market returns, and you're looking at roughly $100,000 you'll never see. Some parents go further. Nearly 1 in 10 say they retired early specifically to help an adult child or watch the grandkids, which sounds generous until the money runs short at 80. I'm not going to tell anyone to stop helping their kids. I wouldn't stop helping mine. Most of these parents say they're glad to do it, and the relationships stay close. But it should be a decision made with your eyes open, because a check you write your kids at 58 can turn into a shift you work at 71. Number 5, the debt that outlived the career. Your parents probably retired the old way. House paid off, no car note, maybe a small balance at Sears. Done. That world is gone. About 2/3 of families headed by someone 55 or older are carrying debt today, up from just over half in the early 90s. And it's not the polite kind. Nearly 6 in 10 older adults with credit card debt carry a balance month to month, at interest rates now running over 22%. At those rates, a $15,000 balance can eat $300 a month in interest alone, before you've touched a dime of what you actually owe. Here's the detail that changes how you should hear all of this. When researchers ask older adults why they're carrying that debt, almost 90% point to unexpected expenses. The car that died, the roof, the hospital bill. This is not a story about reckless spending. It's a story about people borrowing to absorb shocks their income couldn't. One honest caveat: not every senior mortgage is a crisis. Plenty of folks refinanced at 3% in 2020 and are smartly keeping their cash invested instead of rushing to pay off the house. Debt at 3% is a tool. Debt at 22% is a treadmill. And millions of retirees are on the treadmill. Number 4, the rent that never retires. Here's a difference nobody says out loud. A homeowner has a finish line. 30 years of payments, and one day, the mortgage is gone. A renter never gets a finish line. The rent is due at 70. It's due at 80. And it goes up almost every year, whether your income does or not. More older Americans are on that treadmill than ever. Census data shows renters 65 and older grew by 2.4 million over the past decade, the fastest growing group of renters in the country, and it isn't close. Harvard's housing researchers found that 58% of older renters now spend more than a third of their income on housing. That's 4.5 million households. For over half of them, it's more than half their income. But one number explains why this hits so hard. The median older renter household has about $10,000 to its name. Total. Not $10,000 plus a house. $10,000, period. That's roughly 2 cents for every dollar of wealth the median older homeowner has. So when the lease renewal comes back $150 higher, there's no equity to tap and no cushion to spend. There's a job application. I'll be honest, older renters almost never make it into videos like this, including mine. And to be fair, plenty of seniors rent on purpose. They sold the house, banked the equity, and they're glad to let somebody else worry about the roof. Renting isn't the trap. Renting on a fixed income with $10,000 behind you, that's the trap. And it's growing faster than anything else on this list. Number 3, you paid off the house. The bills didn't get the memo. You may have heard this one before, but no honest version of this list leaves it out. Homeowners insurance is up more than 24% nationally in 3 years, to about $3,300 a year. Property taxes are up roughly 27% since 2019 as counties reassess homes at boom-era prices. Neither bill cares that your mortgage is paid. They arrive forever, and they're rising faster than Social Security can keep up. So a widow in the house she and her husband paid off in the 90s gets a reassessment and 2 bad storm seasons, and suddenly there's $500 or $600 new a month due on a home she owns outright. She's not house poor, she's paid off poor, and her options are sell the house or get a job. That one stays with me, honestly, because it breaks the one rule everybody trusted, that if you did everything right, the house would protect you. If it's happening to you, call your county assessor and ask 2 questions. Do I qualify for a homestead or senior exemption? And does my state have a senior freeze or deferral? Most states have something. Most people never ask. Number 2, the health insurance gap nobody prices in. Fidelity runs this study every year, and every year the number gets worse. A 65-year-old retiring today should plan on spending about $172,500 after taxes on healthcare through retirement. That's premiums, copays, and prescriptions. And that's with Medicare. Because Medicare was never free and it was never complete, you pay for Part B, you pay for Part D. Most dental, most vision, most hearing aids, not covered. The gaps get filled with supplemental plans, and the supplemental plans get paid with premiums. And the premiums come out of a fixed check that was already spoken for. But the years that really wreck people come before Medicare even starts. Remember the layoff at number 7? Say it lands at 61. Medicare doesn't begin until 65. That's 4 years of buying health insurance on the open market at the most expensive age there is. For plenty of couples, it costs more each month than their old mortgage payment did. So people do the math and land on the same answer. For a lot of older Americans, the cheapest health insurance they can find is still attached to a job. They're not working for the paycheck. They're working for the card in their wallet. 1 in 5 Americans says they've never even thought about healthcare costs in retirement. I think that's the single most expensive blind spot on this list. Number 1. The pension vanished, and the 401k never filled the hole. Everything on this list, the debt, the caregiving, the rent, the medical bills, lands the way it does because of one structural change. And it happened on purpose. In 1960, about half of America's private sector workers had a real pension, a guaranteed check every month until the day you died. The company took the market risk. The company did the investing. Your job was to work. Their job was to keep the promise. Under that system, a bad year, a divorce, or a sick parent could still damage a retirement, but they were less likely to erase the monthly income completely, because the pension check did not rise and fall with your account balance. Then, through the 80s and 90s, company after company made the same quiet decision. Cancel the pension. Hand the workers a 401k and a brochure. It was sold as freedom and control. What it actually did was move every risk, the market, inflation, how long you live, off the company's books and onto your kitchen table. The companies saved billions. The savings went to the companies, and the shortfall landed on the people who did everything they were told. Today, only about 15% of private sector workers have access to a traditional pension. And here's what 50 years of that experiment produced. According to the Federal Reserve, the median retirement savings for households aged 55 to 64, the people standing at the doorstep of retirement, is $185,000. Vanguard's numbers on actual 401k accounts are lower still, right around $100,000 for that age group. Those are the medians. Half of households have less. Now do the math with me, because this is the whole video in 3 sentences. Even $185,000 doesn't create a pension-sized income. Using a cautious 4% withdrawal, it produces about $7,400 in the first year, roughly $617 a month before taxes. Social Security has to carry everything else: the taxes, the insurance, the rent, the groceries. That is the gap the pension used to fill. And for millions of households, the only thing left to fill it with is more years of work. That's why millions will work past 70. Not laziness, not bad luck. A guaranteed system was replaced with a do-it-yourself system, and the shortfall landed on the people who did everything they were told. But I'm not going to leave you with a diagnosis and no medicine. Here are 2 things worth doing this week. First, before you or anyone you love claims Social Security, pull your actual statement at ssa.gov and look at your number at 62, at 67, and at 70. Claiming at 62 locks in a cut of up to 30%. Permanently. It never steps back up. And that one page has stopped people from taking a cut they never had to take. Second, if you're still working and you're over 50, ask your plan about catch-up contributions. In 2026, workers 50 and older can put an extra $8,000 into a 401k. And from 60 through 63, that catch-up rises to $11,250. Most people have never heard of the larger window. It's one of the few chances left to make up meaningful ground. So now I want to hear from you. Are you, or is someone you love, still working past the age you thought you'd stop? What's keeping you on the clock? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, and the stories down there are half the reason I make these videos. And if this one helped you see the whole picture, make sure you're subscribed. Click it one time, and you'll be notified when the next one drops. This is Econo Nova. Keep an eye on the price of milk.